What's good, YouTube? It's your girl Glow, and I want to personally welcome you back to the Glow Up YouTube channel. On this channel, you can find all of the visuals to my latest episodes that are currently streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio as the Glow Up.
What's good, y'all? It's your girl Glow, and we are back on the Glow Up with another episode. This week, we got Nana as our guest of the week, and today we'll be discussing MILFing and excelling at motherhood. She is doing a great job, and I would love to get her perspective as we all go through different phases of our human experience. But as a mom, this shit hits us hard, and she is doing a damn thing. So we are here. I want all the tea. I want all the everybody. And she's going to let us know. We are going to talk about a lot of different things. So let's talk about it. What's up, Mama? How are you? How you been? Thank you so much for being a part.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
You're popping my podcast cherry.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's exciting. All right, so we're here to talk about it. Our topic is effective mothering while MILFing. So when you see that topic, what do you think that means? What does that title mean to you? And how are we going to talk to our audience about this title? How are you going to bring it in?
I think I'm just going to talk about how I handled entering motherhood in the beginning and where I've gotten to thus far.
Okay.
Because I've only been around a little over 6 years, pushing 7. And there was a period of time in the beginning where, like every mom does, you just get a feeling of just being overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. You don't know what you're doing.
Right.
You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You don't know how to balance your quote-unquote normal life prior to motherhood. Mm-hmm. And then, after a while, you get into a little bit of a rhythm, and you're figuring things out, and then they get older. And it's another level that you're having to conquer.
Okay, so I'm at 4. I'm at level 4.
Well, Mila's 6.
Okay.
And right now, the current phase, it's not the hardest one, I will say that.
Okay.
I think that you made it out the woods, because it's them terrible twos.
Oh, listen.
They're terrible for a reason.
Yeah, they do be hard. They do be real hard.
But right now, it's difficult because Mila's in a phase where she is very emotionally intelligent.
Wow. Okay.
And she's getting to that point where, like before you could tell your kids something, like, oh, we can't go to the store because they closed, but they wasn't closed.
Right.
My daughter knows the hours of that store.
She's aware.
So she'd be like, Mom, Target is not closed, the sun is still up. Like, don't play with me. Like,
Okay.
she challenges me.
Right.
But it's kind of refreshing.
In a good way, yeah.
In a good way. She's not disrespectful. Like, my biggest thing was, like, once I found out that I was pregnant, I had to reflect on my childhood.
Okay.
I had to reflect on my mother's way of raising me and my father's, role in my life and what worked and what didn't for her. Mm-hmm. Like, my mom had me at 16, so obviously that wasn't ideal. Like, she was still a kid.
Yeah.
But I vowed, because of, my upbringing, I'm like, I am not having no kid. I didn't lose my virginity until I was going into college, the summer before I was starting college.
Damn.
I held on to that shit for dear life because I was so scared of being 16 and pregnant.
Yeah, no, shit. I lost my virginity day too, but the same as my mom had me really young as well.
Yeah, and mind you, my mom did a fantastic job because I turned out the way that I did. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm not on drugs.
I think you're pretty great.
Thank you. I think you're pretty great too. So shout out to the young moms that did a good job.
This damn thing.
I think I just took my mom's trauma and I took her mistakes. And I learned from them, which is what you're supposed to do. And I feel like my parenting style is I don't try to coddle my daughter from anything. Mm-hmm. If she asks me hard questions, I answer them to the capacity that she can accept at her age.
That's hard though.
It's very hard. That's what I'm saying. This age is challenging because I'm having to. She'll ask a couple of weeks ago. She asked me. She was like, "Mommy, can you and my dad get married?"
Oh.
So yeah, she dropped a bomb over Baghdad on me, and she was like, "Mommy, can you and my dad get married?" Mind you, me and her father have been separated well over 3 years. Like, it's always hard to calculate. The baby daddy, baby mama's relationship, like, you don't know when they start and when they end. So I'm gonna say, because he has a girlfriend now, and no disrespect to her, so I don't want to throw him under the bus. A little over 2.5 years that we have been like completely done with each other. And Mina's going through a phase where it's like she wants to have, we have shared custody of her. So she's split between us both.
Right.
She hates that. Like, she'll call me and be like, Mommy, I miss you so much. Like, she just wants to have us both there so where she doesn't have to share time.
Well, it's really hard.
So it's hard on me because it's like, I don't want to, like, I agreed to share custody even though prior to that, I was the primary caretaker for her. I did everything. I was, with her 24/7. There was a 6-month period that her father was living with his best friend because when I left him, he couldn't afford the bills.
Okay.
We'll get into the men that want a woman to be okay with them cheating but can't provide, which I ain't have to do. Look, I left you, you was homeless. But you want to cheat. You know what? I'm gonna change my mind on that. I'm gonna retract on what I said previously. If you want to cheat on me, at least trick for something. Can she help pay the bills?
That part, that was part of the conversation, help me, help us. That was the
Listen, if sis wants to help pay these bills,
that part.
You know what? As long as I don't find out about it, I might be okay with it. But if I'm out here covering half of the bills, and you're out here just,
that's the problem.
soiling oats all over the place,
Swinging dick.
right? And you want me to be at home like, welcome home, honey. Do you want some more? Like, no.
I feel that. Definitely, I feel that. Because men out here will definitely be swinging dick at no cost and not be doing what they're supposed to do. Like, you gotta pick your poison.
And I think that a lot more men have to come to the realization that, especially men with money, let me specify. Because I always put this too as a way to compare, contrast. Women that are of a certain standard, and I just mentioned this thing, I call them the BBL squad. Women that have a certain aesthetic and look to them, or a certain career, like strippers, bottle girls, hookah girls, whatever, what have you. They'll attract a certain kind of man, and then that kind of man is looking to attract those kinds of women with their money.
Right.
So it's like, you guys have that understanding. And, for me, what was the biggest smack in the face with my daughter's father is like, you're not even on here pulling people better than me.
Right. They usually don't.
And for me, it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, this is not benefiting me. I could understand if you are the breadwinner. I might shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I might not. Like, emphasis on the might, because I really
would compromise.
I might compromise, but it's like we were talking about earlier, you have to come into things with a disclaimer.
Right.
You can't spring this on me.
Yeah.
Mid-relationship and say, hey, I want to just go out here and be fucking on whatever want to fuck on me, and...
Well, wait, do you think that they have that intention? Like, do you think that men really have that intention when they go into relationships? Because, it's all glitz and glamour from the beginning. You get everything you want from, so I don't think they really go in with that intention.
I think that there was something that one of my friends said to me that I do believe to be really valid, and he said, men will know within the first few months what category they're going to place you in their life, whether they want to make you your girl, whether you're going to be a sneaky link, whether you're just, something to fuck on. They already know. Off of conversations and dates and vibes, like, they know where they're placing you.
Okay.
I do firmly believe, based on other conversations that I've had with men that are very open, that they are sexual beings. And sex for them is different than it is for us.
Okay.
They could go and fuck on somebody and never talk to that girl again.
Yeah.
They'll see her in the street and they won't even chuck her a Zeus. Because it was just an act for them.
Right.
Like, it's nothing to them. And they want us to be understanding of that. Like, yeah, I fuck that girl. Are you sure you got into me?
Yeah.
If she means nothing to you, but you're still putting your relationship with me at jeopardy.
Yes. Yeah.
You're still, like, for me, my biggest thing is
they don't even think like that though.
No, and that's the thing. Like, they look at us like, you're emotional. This is just a means to an end for me. This is just something for me to do. Do you realize that you are jeopardizing my security, my self-esteem,
right,
my body, because that should bring something back home to me.
That part, no, forever.
I have to deal with the consequences of your actions. So I have a right to decline on that. I have a right to be like, you want to be out here doing you? I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, you do. We all do. that there is no way to balance that. Like, how can you balance that? Like, you have to literally get out of those situations because there's no room for yourself when you're over stimulated by all of the toxic.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was already suffering through postpartum. My pregnancy with Mila was very hard on me.
Wow.
Like, physically, I lost like 30 something pounds because I couldn't keep any food down. I went for an ultrasound or a checkup for her, and they said that the left side of her brain was enlarged, so I had to go for further testing to find out what that meant.
Yeah.
So it was hard, and all the meanwhile, my daughter's father was working 2 jobs, one of them being security, and I was home alone a lot.
Yeah, that's hard.
So, like I said, a lot of it took a toll on me, and back then I had no balance. It was like my man, the family, the house, work. My man, the family, the house, and it was just like one infinite loop of responsibility.
Yeah.
And I didn't have, like, I lost myself. It's like, oh, you need to go out, you know, with your friends, and I'm like, what friends?
Right.
I don't have any right now. I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I lost my identity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the last few years have just been like that. The day that I left was the day that everything started. It was like something ended. I went to the house.
You packed your stuff,
I went to my mom's house to pick Mila up, and I looked at my mom and I was like, I'm gonna go home and pack. And she's like, what? I'm like, can I stay here until I figure out my next move?
Wow.
And she was relieved.
Oh my God.
She was like,
I got the
yes.
chills.
She hated him after he laid his hands on me. Like, she got in his face.
Mother's intuition.
She's like, I'm gonna beat you. Like, she wanted to kill him. Who wouldn't? As a mom now,
yeah,
I was like, I probably would have.
Yeah.
You know, so looking back, it was like, you know, my mom was relieved. I saw it in her face. She was like, yes. Like, yes, like, of course. And my sister met me at the house.
That would be so comforting for you.
It wasn't, I was feeling so much. I was numb. It wasn't until weeks later that everything set in. And then a new obstacle popped up.
Okay.
So I left. I packed. I literally, mind you, I helped make that house a home. I picked up the furniture. I had the decor in there. One thing about me is I got my Martha Stewart on, okay? I'm the Pinterest queen. I will decorate the shit out of the house. And, you know, I walked in and I packed mine and Mila's clothes. And that's it.
Damn, you was ready.
The furniture that I picked out stayed. Like, the entertainment system that I bought stayed. Like, my pots and pans, my favorite way out. Matter of fact, I'll take that shit back. I was like, I'm not taking none of that.
Yeah.
I don't want anything that's gonna remind me of this. And I left, and 3 weeks later, I moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. By the grace of God, 3 weeks later, I had been saving for months. He didn't know that.
Because you were ready.
I was ready to go, but I didn't take the leap.
Yeah.
I was just saving. I'm like, let me just put this money away, you know, and I was just putting money aside. And my grandmother helped me with the rest. When I found an apartment, my grandmother had an apartment, I had to pay for first, last, and whatever. She gave me the difference. And then my whole family, my village, my uncle showed up with a TV.
Amen.
Like, they all came through.
Yeah.
And furnished my apartment and helped me build the furniture and helped me, you know, get everything together. And that was the beginning of my new journey.
And how old was Mila?
Mila was 2.
Wow, look at that.
Mila, it was literally a month after her 2nd birthday that I left. Because her birthday's 9/9, mine's 10/10.
Look at that.
And I left him on 10/9. Like that.
That's lit. Well, listen, like, that's a story we fucking tell. Like, we not even we halfway through our episode, and that is a story to tell, and it literally takes a lot to really pick yourself off the ground in those circumstances. Because from what you're saying, like, you were still unhealed. Like, you were still very much dealing with your trauma.
I wasn't even in the beginning of my healing. Like, it started when I left.
Yeah. It started when you left. And some people, like, never find that strength. And that is definitely astounding. The fact that you were able to, with the little one and with your pride, and you know what I mean? Like, we have pride, and we have ego. Like, who wants to stay with my mom going into my 30th birthday? You know what I mean?
I devastated. To add insult to injury, for my 30th birthday, we were supposed to go to Jamaica.
You
and I was like, he had booked the hotel, and the last straw, like what led to that last big argument was, I'm like, why haven't we bought our flights yet? Like, this is my 30th birthday. It's 3 weeks before this trip. Why haven't we bought our flights? And he was like, I'm gonna figure it out. Girl, I was moving into my apartment. Halloween is when I got the keys to my apartment to move in. He was in Jamaica. He went on my birthday trip. And I later found out with another woman.
I was just about to ask, maybe with someone else. Wow.
I was broken down.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm like, you picked that fight with me that caused me, like, you set this in motion, but it was the biggest blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
I hurt multiple times. Like, when I found out about his current girlfriend, which I have no issue with her now, by any means. In the beginning, it was rough and rocky, because 2.5 years ago, me and him were trying to work things out.
Wow.
So we're in
After everything,
I'm like, this is the father of my child. I still had that love for him, and I still had hope.
Yeah.
Like, he pursued me again, and he was like, can we work on rebuilding our friendship? Because that's how we fell in love, was we were best friends. And I'm like, I really want my family. I really want to make this work. Maybe me having my apartment, him having his own place to live, maybe this is what we need. So I did try again. And he went to Disney for his other daughter's 10th birthday, took me, it was supposed to be a family thing. It wasn't. It was him, his upbeat mom, and the girls.
Oh my God.
So I find that out. I'm talking to Mila on FaceTime, and I'm like, where's the rest of your family? Oh, because of COVID, they all canceled. I was like, oh, what were you going to tell me? So you just out here playing house with my daughter, and your other baby mom, who I couldn't stand her.
Wow.
Like, I wanted to beat her the fuck up.
That would have fulfilled me. How the fuck did you answer? I would have said it.
I was about to, but that's not the worst part. That was July of 2020. I'm like, he out here playing? You think I'm a fucking fool. Like, you got me fucked up, because we were being intimate, we were spending time. Father's Day had just passed. I had just bought him a watch for Father's Day. Wow. We had a romantic weekend. He put brakes in my car for Mother's Day. Like, we was young.
Doing it.
We was doing it together. Listen, we was back together or whatever. So I thought.
Oh no.
And then fast forward to the end of July. That was like mid-July. End of July, going into August, one of my best girlfriends from back in the day, me and her reconnected from that incident. And that's one of my best friends now. So I'm like, the universe and God, we know it.
Where's the circle, like clockwork, just from right back around?
Full circle. So she messages me random on Instagram. Fucking random. And she was like, ain't this your baby dad?
What? What is it?
He just came back from Florida. The day he landed back from Florida, we were supposed to sit and talk, because I was trying to find out why y'all was playing family.
Right.
On this trip.
And I was just getting my bags up there.
Right. You was just all of my kitty cat, making it her.
Okay.
And now you're out with your other child's mother, who you can't stand, and she's a bum, and she's this, and she's that. And I'm like, yeah, no, we need to talk. Right. So I'm waiting for him to call me to come to my apartment so that we can talk, for me to go to his house. My girlfriend, Rosa, shout out to her, because she threw a bomb at me.
Shout out to Rosa.
But it was the best bomb. So she sent me a picture. Is this, ain't this your baby's dad? She said, El Camino, like, it was a hot summer day, so having margaritas and tacos. My baby's dad is there with his friends and his current girlfriend.
Oh my God. After coming back from playing house?
Just came back from playing house with the baby mom.
Oh, and then there's the new girlfriend.
And then the new girlfriend he came back from. And he was being real funny with me. He was being real funny with me for weeks. And I'm like, excuse me, sir. What's going on?
Damn.
Because I was staying over, I was cooking seafood boils and shit. Like,
damn, you was doing it.
I was like, I'm gonna get my family back.
That part.
Like, what you want, me? I want seafood. What picked up the scallops, everything.
At 3 in the morning too.
Listen, if I would have rode a skateboard to get this food for this man. Because I was just like,
yeah, and that's okay.
And
we laughing about it, but that's okay. We all fucking go through this.
Listen, another man's gonna be very thankful.
And he gonna want you to ride that skateboard. And you better ride the skateboard.
Listen, I'm brought something else. I ain't worried about no skateboard now. Yeah, so things came full circle, and because of that incident, like, I was devastated. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. You was done after that, I guess.
That was it for me.
Yeah.
Because, again, my biggest thing is be transparent. Give me the choice to stick around for stuff or be like, no, that's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I later found out, like almost a whole year later, I ended up reaching out to his other daughter's mother because something was just like in my spirit. Like, you know, that intuition's nothing to play with.
Yeah.
There was some stuff going on that my daughter was coming back with the new girlfriend. And it was just like, oh, hell no.
Wait, so he was taking Mila around the girl?
Yes, he moved the girl in for 3 months after I got that picture sent to me.
What? Wait, was he at the other spot still at the other house?
No,
yeah.
But then he got a new house. And I was in my little apartment, and girl, it was like boom, boom, boom. I got the picture beginning of August. Mila's third birthday was in September. Third or fourth birthday? Her fourth birthday. Her fourth birthday was September. October, she was in the house. And I'm like, we had an agreement. I was being toxic.
Yeah.
Because I was overwhelmed with things.
Yeah.
I'm like, we had an agreement that we were gonna meet when we were our child around. I need to meet her.
Wait, what was Mila saying? What was
she told me that, you know, she was staying over there or whatever. And me and him were not getting along. And I'm like, you know, I don't want to keep going back. He changed Mila's daycare.
Wait, what?
He put her to hold it. He was just doing shit. It was like, you already hurt me. What else do you want from me, sir?
Yeah, listen, had you like spiraling?
What else do you want? Like, you already hurt me the best way that you possibly could. Now you want to keep doing shit to make things more difficult?
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to communicate with you at all, and I put him on child support.
Did you ever find out why? What was causing all of this?
I don't know.
You know,
We're just now getting into a good co-parenting, a healthy co-parenting rhythm. It took us a long time to get here. Because again, the problem with me and his father was that he doesn't like when I return energy.
Okay.
So he changed her daycare. COVID happened, so she had already been enrolled in a daycare center. Once COVID hit, he was still working, I was furloughed.
Okay.
So it made sense for her to stay with me. She was 3 years old at the time. I'm gonna just be a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
So that's what we did. I was there with Nina, and then I had to go back to work. I'm like, I'm going back to work. This is my start date. You know, are we gonna put her back in the old daycare? You know, blah blah blah. And I was like, on my days, since it's a remote job, I'm going to keep her home with me. But if you want to put her back in the old daycare, which is walking distance from his house, I'm like, no, that's cool. But on my days, I'm just gonna have her, and I'm not gonna pay for daycare anymore. But if you want me to stay with her on your days too, that way you won't have to pay for daycare. That's fine. I work from home. No, I want to put her back in daycare. I said, that's your choice. I respect it. On your days, you're welcome to do that, but I'm not contributing financially to the daycare because I'm capable of staying with her home.
Right.
And it's not like she's in school or she's getting an education.
Right. This was like in some.
Yeah.
Oh no, she was still little.
She was a baby. It wasn't even pre-K. Like,
right.
Nothing. It was nothing. It was daycare. It was literally a babysitter for us to work.
Sorry, that was my fault. I misunderstood.
So he ends up enrolling her in a daycare center that his best friend's ex-wife was a assistant director to.
Okay.
So Nina was attending free of charge.
Okay.
And he was like, I'm enrolling her here. And I'm like, I didn't agree to that. I did not agree to that. You can't just make these decisions, especially if they're impacting me. He enrolled her, it was on Broad and some shit, on the other side of Highland Park, in the hood. And I was like, no, sir.
Right.
You live all the way at Tyson and the Boulevard, and you want to have our child going all the way down Broad and some shit.
Yeah.
No.
That makes sense.
No sense. So I can tell off bat you're doing this intentionally.
Right.
There's no logic behind it. It's just
Right.
like you're just trying to be an asshole. So I'm like, I don't agree to that. For 4 months, I had to go and get a custody modification put in place so that he couldn't change her daycare.
Wow.
And I put him on child support because once I was going to enroll her in another daycare, he was late to everything. He wouldn't help with stuff when I needed it. There was a period where my car broke down and I had to invest all my savings into getting it fixed, and I didn't have money for groceries. A week later, I'm like, hello, I told you I needed, you didn't tell me how much you needed.
Wow.
So I didn't get nothing. So I reached a breaking point. Once I found out about the girlfriend, a lot of people would be like, oh, you put him on child support for the wrong reasons. No, I wasn't bitter. I was seeing things clearly.
Yeah.
And I let him walk all over me for a long time and do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was financially struggling while
he's living his best life. Listen, I feel that. And look, I don't fuck. Call me bitter, call me what you want. Like, let's see, pay these bills. Who is? Because honestly, like, there's something that I feel like a lot of mothers struggle with. Sorry, you see, I'm getting tongue-tied. My son is getting heavy. It's something that a lot of mothers struggle with. Like, it's one thing to be bitter, to be toxic, and it's another thing to just really just start seeing things from a different perspective. Like, you want to be out there living your best life, shitting on me, doing whatever you want to make yourself happy. Meanwhile, I'm struggling with the kid. I'm struggling with my own issues, and you put me in this position. You done fulfilled your need, and you, move on and feeling good about yourself and feeding your ego. Meanwhile, I can't get a chance to get a break to be out here to see my new man. Mm-hmm. Like, my new man want to see me soon, I can't. Because I'm just looking busted and not feeling good or stuck in my weight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you out here living your best life. So that's something that I feel like a lot of women can relate to. Like, and I want to ask you, like, what is the difference in your perspective of, like, being a bitter baby mom, responding bitter, and, just being a baby mom that's not playing that shit no more, like, that's standing in her truth?
I think that, for me personally, I had a lot of opportunities to behave like a bitter baby mom. Mm-hmm. Like, I easily could have contacted his new girlfriend.
Right.
Because I had to do research to find out who she was, because you're around my child. And I could reach out to her and be like, bitch, he was sleeping with me. I could have. That's a. But this is the thing. To a degree.
Oh.
To a degree. And the reason why I say to a degree is because what are you doing it for? That's like the biggest question that you have to give to yourself to decipher whether something is you standing up for yourself and being like, I'm not dealing with this shit no more, or you being hurt and bitter and wanting to spite them, kind of, is what are you doing it for? When I put him on child support, I'm like, what am I doing this for? And it was like, bitch, I need help.
Right,
and I can't rely on you. You're not responsible. Mm-hmm. He used to pay the daycare late, her previous daycare. He would pay it late, and the late he would go into my week because we would rotate weeks off payment.
Oh, so you still ended up helping with payments?
Well, no, prior, before COVID, she went to that daycare for like 8 months.
Oh, okay.
And we were splitting daycare payment. Mind you, he makes more money. Made more money than I did. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why are we splitting this? The same way when I first moved into that house with him. We were splitting the bills down the middle, but you were making more money than me.
Yeah.
So it was like, you out here, first of all, what am I here for? Because you cheating on me, and you making me pay half the bills, bitch.
That's the truth, and you tell me pay the bills. Come on, sis, you knew that.
I did it.
You need to help pay the bills.
I was a sugar mama. Sugar mama.
That part, sugar mama.
And hell no, I'm not proud of that.
Well, wait, so
I'm
what
Damn. I got fucking played.
Well, wait, now that you say that, like, what a reason they doing it for. So, have you ever been I've been in a predicament where, someone tries to, like, spite me or antagonize me. So I'm not gonna read motherfuckers the right way. Mm-hmm. Like, don't be on my line tripping about no means and, so my means. So it comes to, like, being toxic more, but also setting the record straight. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you don't want to keep them same patterns going. Mm-hmm. So I'm being toxic or bitter, or what am I being?
See, where I'm at now is I don't even respond.
Okay.
Now, and this is why I say my healing journey has been a long one, because bitch, I was like, oh, you wanna play with me? I got something for that.
No, if you buck.
And I went full force. I called this other big mama and I was like, boop, 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 boop. Girl, I know you don't like me, I don't like you either, bitch. But you need to know this team.
Yeah.
And
that's toxic, right?
That was toxic. I did that shit. I did that shit on purpose. But, matter of fact, I don't want to be one of the women that be like justifying my behaviors if they're not good, but I'm going to tell you this is how me and mom was wrong.
Alright, let me listen, because I'm still working.
Get ready for this, because that's another bomb. I wish we need to get a little bomb.
Oh, yes, yes.
We need one of them. Because
for this episode, we definitely need one.
I'm dropping bombs.
I think 3 months.
Boom, boom, boom. Yep. It's definitely, listen to this shit.
Okay.
Sweeter than wine. I should have had. No, because then I'll end up at his house doorstep right in the fight.
I'm leaving behind you in the car like, baby, I'm upset.
You remember that? I know you remember her.
That was my friend.
No,
He's probably, no, he, listen, everybody has toxic traits and bad patterns in their life. Doesn't make them bad people, but their choices are bad. Choices are bad. He's probably not a bad person, but he's made bad choices.
Yes.
And I think that we have to understand that as people that are healing and on a journey, my son will tell you, we have to meet people where they're at. And that is not always the easiest thing to do.
No.
So when you find yourself encountering old relationships, old people, new people, sometimes it is a struggle when you can see things from a certain perspective and you want to like push that onto someone that isn't ready to receive.
Yep.
For me, that's a really hard struggle. Like I struggle really bad with that because no, but you gotta see this. Like you gotta see what's going on. Like you might think you got the money, but it's not the money. Like you know, like you're gonna be going through what I'm doing. Like, and I just not from a persuasive point of view. I want to persuade you, make your own decisions. I don't want to, beg you to stop, doing whatever you think is best for your life. But I just need you to see this from my perspective. When people can't meet you where that's at, like that's when you have to choose to like stray away from that type of energy because it's draining.
Yeah, and it was exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, it was like one thing after another. And for me, the last straw was, mind you, me and like I said, his other daughter's mother, I could not stand her.
You said you called her though.
I called her. So Mila, she was the best. She was potty trained since she was not even 2 years old. Like she just caught on the shit.
Yeah,
fast.
that was fast too. But
I was like,
Mila, shout out Mila.
yeah, she just got it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I can say. She's a straight honor student now, but she doesn't get it.
it.
So she was potty trained, and now she's fast forward. She's 4 years old at this point. He had already known his girlfriend for going on a year.
Okay.
I still hadn't met her. Still hadn't had a conversation. He would do everything in his power to make sure me and her never cross paths. Guilty as fuck. No, but she doesn't know, and I want this to go viral.
It will. It will.
We're gonna manifest that shit. Jackie, I'm sorry to tell you, baby girl.
Not name dropping.
Yes, the fuck.
Not the fuck. Listen, okay.
I don't give a fuck.
This is the glow.
I don't like nothing.
Okay, tell me what happened.
But Mila started wetting the bed. So I'm here like, this never happened before. Like, what is going on?
Right.
And it kept happening. So that was very strange for me. And I'm like, let me go take her to the doctors because I need to figure out what's happening. Scheduled her an appointment. And I was still in contact with his other daughter. Me and her are still in contact to this day. She's gonna be 13 now, Santi's baby. Mila's older sister. And I used to get her so that Mila and her could spend time. And we're talking, we're like, how are you dealing with, your dad's new girlfriend? Like, is everything okay in the house? How are you feeling about things? Because I'm very big on expressing yourself, talking about your feelings. And she didn't have that outlet with her parents. Like, I was that outlet for her. We were very close. Like, she would tell me everything. So, and she was like, I don't like her or her grandkids. And I'm like, grandkids?
Okay.
And I was like, this motherfucker. So he claimed her grandchildren for child support so he could get his payments lessened.
Wow.
And she allowed him to do that. Or maybe she didn't. I don't know. I have no proof of that, so I'm not going to speculate.
Wait, so did they really let you know when the payment?
No, because I was like, excuse me, those are not his children. Like, he got 2 biological kids. He got 2 children with the last name Booker. I don't know who these other kids are.
Not you.
Your Honor, and it wasn't even your Honor, it was a mediator. I'm like, Your Honor, I object to these children. They're not his. So they were like, is this true? And he was like, they're my girlfriend. And I'm like, they're not even her kids, they're her grandkids, motherfucker. When I found that out, I was like, right. So I was disgusted because I'm like, you think I'm doing this to be spiteful, and I'm not. We don't communicate. I can't come to you for financial support. And I'm
really going through it.
And at that time, the custody arrangement was 70-30, so I had her more.
Yeah, right.
Sir, you make more money than me. I have her more of the time. What are you doing? So anyway, I take Nita to the doctors.
Right.
Because of this bedwetting.
Okay.
And No, it was a couple of days before her appointment, and I had her sister come over. She's talking to me. She tells me that those are the grandchildren, and blah blah blah. And she overheard a conversation I was having on the phone going on with my mother. And I'm like, yeah, Mina's appointment is on this date, so I can figure out why she's still bedwetting. And so I said, I know why. And I'm like, you know why? And she was like, well, I don't know why. She said, but I know that Mina went to bed at my dad's house. My dad got really mad at her. And she was like, I think it's because the gummies. I said, what gummies? His girlfriend supposedly, because I don't know this to be facts.
Okay.
I just know what information was provided to me, was giving my daughter melatonin gummies.
Wow.
So I waited a couple of days, took her to her doctor's appointment, I brought this up to the doctor, and I was like, look, she's been bedwetting, and I also was informed that she's been given melatonin gummies at her father's house.
So is that a reason?
Yes. A side effect of an overdose of melatonin is bedwetting. Because the child is in such a deep sleep, or their body is not waking up to be able to fulfill the urge that they're doing it in their sleep.
Oh,
it's a side effect. So
that's true. So she was feeling
I mean, I don't know. Because I call my daughter's father. No, I'm lying. They FaceTime whenever I have her. So she called him and I got on the phone. And he portrayed me to be this crazy, unhinged woman. But any mother in my position would have reacted the same way. I said, I need to talk to you.
Right.
And he's like, I'm like, is your girlfriend giving her daughter melatonin gummies?
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, well, I was told that she's giving me the melatonin gummies. I took her to the doctor. The doctor said that she's bedwetting and it might be a side effect of a melatonin overdose.
That part.
So I need to have a conversation with you little girlfriends. Okay. Because my daughter should not be given shit that's not prescribed to her.
Right. And why is she giving her anything? Yeah, why is she giving her anything?
They're just trying to start shit. That is a legitimate reason for me to be concerned.
Right.
And then
you don't even fucking know. How about
because
that?
he probably didn't.
The shade. This is an example. This is an example of why men are so irresponsible. Like
you're bringing someone around my child,
and
you don't know. And mind you, his older daughter confirmed that she would give her grandchildren melatonin and put them to bed. So Mina picked it out. We went down the aisle because I was getting like probiotics and stuff. Mina pointed out the purple with bottle. Melatonin.
That's so she said she was giving that.
She said, Mommy, that I have at the daddy house.
Wow.
So I'm like.
And it's not like she's like unaware. It's not like she don't know what's going on.
No, this was a month after that. And I'm like, so this is just facts on facts. Like,
yo, how do you deal with that?
I mean, this was a little, like, this was only like a year and a half ago that all of that happened. And then some other shit happened that I withheld her for 9 months from him because it was just getting out of pocket and he would not communicate with me. When I would try to bring concerns, he'd be like, you're fucking crazy. I'm not though. And if you want to put this to rest, and I asked him, can me, you and your girlfriend sit and talk?
Yeah, like why not?
He would not.
Why?
Because like, you're crazy, you might try to fight her. And I'm like, I want to talk. I'm trying to find out whether this is true or not. Yeah. I'm trying to have a conversation like an adult to get to the bottom of this. Because I'm concerned.
So it's reaching out to her going against your healing journey.
And this part, yes, because it's going to be counterproductive.
Especially because it says you're crazy already.
I am labeled the craziest person, and let me tell you something, I am a little bit crazy, but in a good way. Not in a way that I'm gonna, first of all, I don't want you.
Yeah.
I do not.
Do you think that's what he thinks?
Yeah. He's a narcissist, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He think everybody want him. He used to tell me, like, you know how many girls your friends want me? And I said, oh, names, drop them.
What?
Because I'm like, sir, you are not all that. Like, come on now. Come on.
And even if you were, like, the fact that you feel like you have to say, like, who are you trying to convince, me or you?
I would be like, first of all, do they know you broke? Do they know?
You talk about you want this to go viral, bitch.
I'm gonna sip this wine.
Let me pour myself some more. That's because the tea is given. The wine is given.
You know, all of that transpired, and now I'm in such a healthy stage where
I love that.
Things don't bother me, and he is now co-parenting effectively. He's communicating with me like I've been asking him to. Like, there were just things that is like, you're making me feel like I'm being a difficult baby mom, but I love my child unconditionally, and I love her sister unconditionally. And me and his other daughter's mother, that's my bitch.
Really?
Shout out to Jessica. That is my bitch.
How did that happen?
that conversation that I have, like, look, I'm concerned. After I found out about the melatonin, I said, this was brought to my attention. I'm very concerned. And she started spilling beans about stuff that's, mind you, Sansi at this time is 10 years old. She's well aware of what is okay and what is not.
Right.
And she was just spilling the beans about what was transpiring in that household that brought me for concern.
Wow.
Then a month after that, I got a call from CPS because I'm not even gonna get into all that. He did some shit to his other daughter, and CPS got made aware of it because her mother filed a report, and he accused us of conspiring against him.
What?
We were conspiring against him. We were bitter because he had a new girlfriend.
Oh, so the first thing you might want him too.
Yeah, we all do.
Oh.
We all want him.
Okay.
Because he swears he's fucking Jaden Hurts or somebody. Like,
oh my goodness.
So, sir, come on now.
I'm sorry. That's a lot.
Don't be. Like, now I look back, and the only thing that I carry heavy on my heart is the fact that I have proof that I ever was involved with this man.
Really?
Nina be walking around, I'm like,
you annoying.
I love you so much. But why not proof that I ever had relations with that man?
Well, you know, like, getting back into it, like, on a more, like, serious note, like, as a mom, do you think, or how do you think it affects, like, Nina? Like, how those experiences and all of the things that you've been through, like, we don't think that they, like, pay attention or they notice, but, like, she's been through it all. And, like, those are some of my struggles, like, with Nevaeh. I have two girls. And sometimes we as women, as mothers, like, we deal with a lot of shit. We hold on to a lot of shit because we want to be the bigger person, and we don't want to put our kids through it. We don't want to be bitter. We don't, you know, like, but you have to be stuck between a rock and a hard place when you are literally, like, trying to figure out what's the best thing to do for them and if they'll resent you for the decision that you've made, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how do you deal with that, and how do you think that it affects, like, your child?
I mentioned this earlier. Like, my biggest thing with Mila is I do try to be age appropriately transparent. Like, she brought up, why can't you and my Zach get married? And I'm like, look, I love Daddy very much, and I always will because he gave me you. But me and Daddy, you know, we don't work together. I said he works well with Jackie, and I'm very happy that he found Jackie. And I explained to him that we're always going to be family, whether he wants to admit that or not. We share a child. We're family, sir.
Right.
And my only concern is my daughter. I have no concerns for what he has going on with him and his girl. I have no concerns for what's happened in the past because I took the time to heal from it.
Right.
I don't hold any animosity.
Yeah.
You know, everything that I do it for my daughter.
Okay.
And, you know, now that he gets her more often and I have time for myself to kind of, like, you know, just have a refresher and just have time to myself, so when I get my daughter back, I'm 100%.
Yeah.
I'm, like, excited to get her back because I'm ready to do the mom things with her and be on mommy mode, and I have a good balance.
Yeah.
Like, where I have a social life, the weekends that I don't have her, I'll go out for brunch with my girlfriend, I'll go out for drinks, I'm going to Puerto Rico next month with all my girlfriends.
Okay.
I'm living a well-balanced life that is allowing me to have my identity back, outside of motherhood, outside of being somebody's girlfriend. Like, I had something, my own identity.
Yeah, you got back to you.
I'm not just Nina's mom.
Right.
I'm not just, you know,
I love
Brooke's
that.
baby mom.
Right.
I am me, and I've never been happier.
I love that.
I've never been happier. And I know that there are a lot of women that deal with toxic baby dads or narcissistic men, and that term gets thrown around way too much for my liking. You will not know you dealt with a narcissist until you feel completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Like, I had to rebuild from the ground up.
And you did it, like, thinking back on our episode, like, it's like, the shit that you unpacked here today, like,
It's a lot. There's a whole lot more, but
it's a lot.
I'm in a good space. Like, I went against a lot of odds. Like, I'm a homeowner.
Okay.
I purchased a house by myself
Do that.
in the midst of a pandemic.
Love
You
that.
know, and my daughter goes on yearly vacations, and she has everything she wants and she needs. Her nails be done, her hair be done, and Mila is, like I said, a straight A student. So my pride doesn't come from the fact that I'm a single mom that's a homeowner, even though I am very proud of that. That's a very hard, y'all rude. That's a hard thing that a lot of women don't get. Like that's a milestone that not many women reach.
Right. Alone. At this day and age.
And the fact that Mila was not impacted by my suffering and by the things that her father put me through, it's a blessing. She's a straight A student. If she were here, like, you're like, oh my God, she's so well mannered, she's so well spoken. You know, she's not showing any signs of being impacted by what I've been through.
Wow.
And that is my biggest gift. Out of everything that I've received.
That's a reflection of you, actually.
I don't like to take all of the credit because ultimately, you know what? No, fuck that. I do have to.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
I wanted to hear what you were gonna say.
I try to be humble, but the fact of the matter is, I fought so hard to make things about my daughter, even with her father. Like, we would get into disagreements. I'm like, I'm worried about our daughter. Mm-hmm. We have to co-parent for our daughter.
Right.
We have to do these things for our daughter.
Right.
She's priority number one. And he gave me such a hard time with that. Like, I would try to, you know, it's a 40-degree day. It's cold outside. I'm picking her up from school on his day, doing him a favor because it was his birthday, which is co-parenting. You have plans, I got you. I got your back. Right. I'm going to cancel whatever I got going on. And I'm going to do my motherly duties because I want you to enjoy your birthday.
But will you do the same?
I don't know. I mean, he's never said no to me when I've asked. I don't ask very often because I have such a village that there's no need for me to really go to him.
Okay.
But when I have asked, yes, 100%. Okay. And I'm always gonna give him credit when credit is due. Yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna be a well-versed person. I'm gonna speak on the shit that he's done negative, but I'm gonna give him props for the positive as well.
And that speaks volumes of you. Like that shows your character.
Yeah, and you know, he might have fucked up a lot in the relationship, but Mila loves her dad. She loved her daddy, and I don't ever speak ill on him in front of her.
Right.
I utilize the time that I don't have her, not anymore, but previously when I was still healing, I utilized that time without her to let it out.
Right.
To cry, to talk shit, whatever I needed to do.
Yeah.
To scream, I did it when she was not present.
Right.
So she has no idea of whatever I've endured with her father. Wow. I hide that from her because I don't ever want to taint. She's a daddy's girl. She's obsessed with her father. And I listen to them speak, and it warms my heart knowing that she loves him so much.
Yeah, that's nice.
You know, so despite what he's put me through, that's what brings my heart joy. As long as you're good to my baby, everything else you've done to me, I can bury it.
Yeah, right.
Because at the end of the day, it helped. And it's funny that I use the term bury it. I could bury it because I planted them seeds from the feelings put me through. And bitch, I got a whole motherfucking rose bush.
You got a garden.
Okay?
It's a garden.
So, you know, the balance was very, very, very important for me. And finding myself and letting go of the things that he did wrong. And letting go of the things that I did wrong because it wasn't all him. And my daughter is not feeling that, like, I got the umbrella on her and I'm getting the rain.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing. That honestly is a beautiful, it's nice to hear that perspective because I'll be transparent and say that I have had experiences where I feel like I haven't had the ability or the leisure to mask what I'm going through or what I'm feeling and project it onto my daughter to the point that there's been times that she's like, no, don't be mean to my dad. Like, and I struggle with that because then I become the aggressor in my daughter's eyes. You know what I mean? And it is really important to always remember that they're watching and that no matter what we say, no matter what we feel, they're always going to have their own interpretation of what is going on. And that's why I asked you, like, do you think balance is real? Like, but from what I can hear, like, you've done a really good job of creating that balance not only for yourself, but for her, like, as a mother, as a person. Like, Now, for someone who is struggling with that, like myself, like how I said, like there's times that I can't help but express how I feel, or like we're bickering or arguing, and she's like, just stop fighting. Like that's like difficult. Like, and you know, in those moments, like I try to take the high road, and I try to just think of it's just about Nevaeh, like or it's just about Nina. Well, right now it's on Nevaeh, but you know, at 4 years old, like I feel like she's already witnessed a lot of things, like, and I'm hard on myself about it. Like I'm really hard on myself about it.
I think you have to give yourself grace, because one thing that I will say, like, you know, you would come to me when I would have my story time and I would talk about certain topics, or like when I would, you know, talk about certain things that I've been through without specifying that it was my daughter's father, but you, like you knew, some women know, and you've come a long way.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, you've come a very long way, and one thing that I'm really adamant about that I wish more women did was like, not even women, people in general. The biggest way that you can help others while helping yourself is by being honest about the things that you go through. Social media and the way the world is functioning at the moment is like everybody wants to give this picture perfect life.
A facade.
Like, I'm my teeth are fake, my titties are fake, my ass are fake. Bitch, you fake, because you're not, you're not talking about the hardships that you're going through because you want everyone to think your life is a certain way. I don't want that. I don't want to be perfect. Bitch, I'm a chunky single mother. You know, I got some flaws within me. I curse like a fucking sailor. But I'm also very honest, and I've made so many deep connections. Me sitting here is on the strength of me being honest about what I've been through.
Right.
I've given so many women advice on how to push through postpartum, a man cheating on them, dealing with a narcissistic man, you know, dealing with little pickles, dealing with, you know.
We could not leave that out.
Listen, shout out to...
Don't. Shit, go ahead and do it.
No.
You want to.
No, but it's like, women don't talk about this stuff.
Right.
Like, they want to act like, and it's like a lot of stuff, it's an act, and a lot of it is like stuff that don't even make sense. You want to seem like such a girl, but a freak.
Okay.
You want to seem like, you know, oh, I'm not, you know, a superficial woman, but you only take man more money and never pay your bills. You want to act like, stop.
Yeah.
Like,
be honest. People to be honest. I'm gonna pay my bills without that shit.
Right. Like, you know, be transparent about everything. Like, I lay everything on the line. Like, I let guys know, like, you think I'm funny and all that shit, but I'm a little crazy.
Be a porn.
Okay, but you're never gonna be bored with me.
Right.
Because you don't know which version you're gonna get.
I might be Tina today.
You don't know what you get. But, you know, just be yourself. Like, the reason why people are getting so frustrated in today's climate, dating climate, is because you're dating fucking avatars of people.